So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're gonna do Master Duel once more, and of course with the new deck profile that I have for you guys today. So the deck allows you to negate a ton of monsters, and this is basically its own archetype effect, which once your opponent moves or try to use a card effect or summon to the field, you can just negate and destroy, spell summon itself to the field, and you can even synchro summon. So without further ado, let's get into Master Duel and check that deck out. So here we are guys, and the deck that I want to showcase you guys today is Psy-Frame. So for those who don't know the deck, the Psy-Frame deck the Psy-Frame archetype is easy to master. I think less than a day, of course. Once you know the specific effects for each Psy-Frame gear monster that you have on hand, it's pretty good. And one thing to know is if you have a monster in the field, you can't actually do anything else but just surrender. Now with that out of the way, let's move towards our main deck monsters, which is first and foremost we have the bread and butter for the Psy-Frame deck is your Psy-Frame driver, of course. So it's a level 6 normal monster, which of course this can easily be special summoned to your side of the field with the help of your Psy-Frame gear monsters. Now there's some cases wherein you'll brick from time to time if you draw this card on your starting hand, so that's basically one less card to work with on your starting hand. But nevertheless, if you do have this in your deck or in your graveyard, you can just special summon it to your side of the field, thus allowing you to synchro summon into your synchro monsters. Then you have your righty driver. So righty driver and lefty driver they coincide with each other, of course. So righty driver, once summoned to the field, it can search and spell summon your lefty driver to your side of the field. And then you can either go for Hockey 5 Racks or even just go directly for Lambda. And Lambda on the field will allow you to use your Psy-Frame gear monsters even though you have a monster on your side of the field. So yeah, it's your choice actually. Then you have your Psy-Frame geared Alpha. So Alpha, once prompted its effect, ever your opponent normal summons or spell summons a monster to his side of the field, you can just negate the summon, add one Psy-Frame gear monster, and then if ever your field spell is activated, you can easily synchro summon to a level 7 synchro monster. Next up, we have 3 copies of Beta. So Beta, once your opponent monster declares an attack, while you control no monsters, you can just use the effect of Beta, spell summon itself to your side of the field, and also a copy of Driver, and then you either synchro summon it or whatsoever. And then with that, let's move towards 3 copies of Psy-Reflector, which is also a psychic monster. So Psy-Reflector is one of the archetypes for Assault mode. So 3 copies of Psy-Reflector. So Psy-Reflector will actually search for Assault Beast. Assault Beast will then search for Assault mode activate, and then sending Assault Beast to the graveyard. Psy-Reflector will just clear or reveal one Assault mode activate on hand, and then spell summon your Assault Beast from the graveyard, thus increasing its level from 1 to 4. Basically it's 3 or 4, it's up to you, but mostly 3 since you can synchro summon to your level 8 synchro monster. Next up, you have 1 copy of Lefty Driver, 3 copies of Maxi, 2 copies of Psy-Frame gear Gamma. Now Psy-Frame gear Gamma is just limited to 2, but it would be better if you're running with 3. But nevertheless, yeah, 2 copies is okay. Then you have 3 copies of Psy-Frame gear Delta, which of course if your opponent activates a spell card, you can negate and then spell summon Delta to your side of the field with Driver. Then lastly, you have 1 copy of Psy-Frame gear Epsilon. So Epsilon, if your opponent activates a trap card, negate it, then spell summon it to your side of the field. Then 1 copy of Assault Beast, 1 copy of Nemesis Corridor. Since most of your monsters are going to be banished, you can retrieve your banished monster back to your deck and then spell summon Corridor to your side of the field. Now once Thunder Monster's effect is activated, you can then spell summon or fusion summon Thunder Giant Colossus from your extra deck. Let's move towards your Magic and Trap, which we start off with 1 Terraforming, 2 copies of Psychic Field Zone. Select 2 of your remove from play monsters, 1 Psychic type tuner and 1 Psychic non-tuner. Return it back to the graveyard and then synchro summon it to a Psychic monster as well. So that is that. 3 copies of Psy-Frame Circuit. So this is also one of your ace cards for the deck. If ever you have spell summon a Psy-Frame monster to your side of the field, you can just choose to synchro summon to whatever synchro monster that you can actually find in your extra deck. Then you have 2 copies of Emergency Teleport, so one of your target cards here is Psy-Reflector or whatever. You can just spell summon one other Psy-Frame monster. But yeah, mostly Psy-Reflector is your best choice. Then you have 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 copy of Assault Mode Activate, and lastly your last trap card, Psy-Frame Overload. So face up on the field, once per turn, you can banish 1 Psy-Frame monster from your hand or face up on your side of the field, and then banish 1 card on the field face down. So that's basically it. And if ever this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it out of play, add 1 Psy-Frame card from your deck to your hand. So that's basically your main deck, guys. Your extra deck, you have 1 Colossus, you have 1 Cupid Pitch, 2 copies of Psy-Frame Lord Zeta, 1 Cyber's Quantum Dragon, 1 Omega, 1 Warlord Savage Dragon, 1 Draco Berserk of the Tenyi, 1 Chaos Ruler. Your Link monsters, you have Haki Fibrax, 2 copies of Lambda, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Aurora Dawn, and lastly 1 Axis Code Talker. So that is your deck profile, guys. Let's move towards the replays and I'll showcase you how this deck works. Now for the replays, guys, and basically we won the coin toss and we got a starting hand of Alpha, 1 Maxi, 1 Delta, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Call by the Grave. Now I'll showcase you guys 1 field spell can actually go a long way for this deck to work. So to start off, we just use Terraforming, get a copy of our circuit, activate circuit, set 1 back row, and just end our turn. That's basically it. So it would be much better if we have a copy of Lambda on the field, but nevertheless, yeah, we will start ourselves there. He will start off with Reinforcement of the Army, and then I think we're going up against for hire here. So he used a spell card, we use Delta's effect since he used a spell card. There we go. With our circuit, we can move towards Synchro Summoning into Omega, which is a level 8 Synchro monster. I use the effect of Omega to banish itself from the field so that I won't have no monsters on the field. He uses he summoned Beat the Bladesman for hire, and then he's gonna spell summon a lot of monsters. So I chained my Maxi. He then Called by the Grave it. So nevertheless, it was fine. As long as my Omega is banished, it was good. He normal summoned 1 monster. We go towards Alpha. There we go. Once Alpha is summoned to the field with Driver, you can search for 1 other Psy-Frame monster. So we go towards Gamma. And then since we spell summon a Psy-Frame monster to the field or Psy-Frame Gear monster, Circuit will activate and then, Synchro summon into a level 7 Synchro. So Zeta will activate it once more, allowing me to have no monsters on the field. He then spell summon his Champion for hire, activate its effect, and then luckily we have Gamma for that one. Negate, and then Circuit will prompt its effect once more, and that's basically how he scooped. So in the second game, guys, I'm going to showcase to you guys what will happen if there is a monster on the field, even though if it's face down. So it doesn't need to be face up. So we lost the coin toss and we're going up against Earth Machine of all decks. Okay, so we chain off with Max C, since that is basically its downside for the deck. They do a lot of spell summoning. He sends his fortress to the graveyard and his turn right there. So on our turn, we draw into a circuit, which, yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, we have the lefty driver, which is a very bad brick. Fortress is going to be summoned to the field with the help of Infinitric Harvester. So there we go. Link off into Goliath here, I think. Yeah, Goliath. Yeah, there we go. Attack, and then we prompt the effect of Beta. So he's gonna chain with Maxi. We can't do anything else but just proceed with spell summoning our Psy-Frame Gear monsters. There we go. Circuit is gonna prompt its effect, spell summoning a copy of our Zeta. And then Zeta is gonna banish Goliath, basically. So in our turn, we can't do anything else since we draw into a brick, of course, as a field spell. With that, we just attack his 1 monster and then basically set one monster in the field. Now remember that we just set one card on the field. That's basically our downfall right there. So there's what I just need to do is just use the effect of Zeta, banish his Goliath once more. He used his heavy forward here to get a copy of another Harvester. So he got Anchor for this matter, which is pretty bad. Normal summon, I think, or retribute these monsters. We'll summon his Tunneler, and then we go towards a level 9 Exe summon. There we go. So one banish one random card from your opponent's hand. We actually got a good eye for that one. Summon his Rune Force to the field. Attack for 600, which is pretty fucking painful. Okay, so at our point on, this is actually the last turn. So he chained with Maxi on my standby phase. There we go. So Zeta is activated in the field. Banish our lefty driver. We can't do anything else, just to thin our deck out. Normal summon our driver, and then we move towards our level 8 Berserker of the Tenyi here. Which is the only thing we can do actually, since we don't have any Psy-Frame gear monsters. Attack is 2900 monster. Increase the attack of Berserker of the Tenyi by 2900. He's gonna use Overload here, or Overdrive. Sorry, Overdrive. Target on machine monster in the field. Rune Force is gonna prompt its effect, half its life points, and then half mine as well. Nevertheless, I use the effect of Berserker of the Tenyi. Problem with Berserker of the Tenyi's effect, it can just banish, but the effect is still there. So Overdrive is activated, but we can't do anything else. Oh, he can't do anything else, but you know, take the damage, of course. So Rune Force is gonna be dead, and we won the game for that one. So on the last game, guys, we're gonna showcase to you guys what the field spell and Lambda can do once they are on the field. And of course, good thing for us, we won the coin toss and we got Psy-Frame Overload as our starting hand. So to start off, let's go with Circuit activated. Activate Emergency Teleport, of course. Get a copy of Psy-Reflector, I think here. This is the only target we can do actually. Psy-Reflector will actually get Assault Beast. Assault Beast will tribute itself to get a copy of Assault Mode Activate. Psy-Reflector will activate its effect, Reveal, Assault Mode Activate. Spell Summon our Assault Beast into... I could just go with Synchro Summoning, but it's much better to use Lambda since we got Beta on the field. Or Beta on our hand. Set our Overload, and we have a driver that is breaking us. Nevertheless, it was fine. We're going up against branded Despia Albaz, so he used the effect of Albaz. We need to use Overload here because Albaz needs to target itself as well. So he used Branded Opening, Spell Summon his Albaz to the field, get a copy of Branded in red, set 2 back rows, and just end his turn there. So at this point, we still got a good hand. We draw into a brick. Nevertheless, it was fine. Lambda will just attack Aluber, then we just end our turn there. Because like I said, we can't play if our opponent doesn't play. So that's basically the downside, one of the downsides for this deck. So Corridor is gonna be prompted its effect. Return 1 banished monster to the deck. Spell Summoner Colossus to the field because there is a Thunder monster that activated its effect. Attack for 600 and attack for 700, and that's basically how we won the game. So that is the replays, and that is the deck profile for you guys. And yes, basically Psy-Frames, well, you can't play this deck if your opponent doesn't play. So basically that's the deck profile for you guys today. And if you like this kind of content, please leave a like, subscribe, and see for new videos in the near future. Keep safe, good luck, and have a good day, guys. Bye bye.